Hello, I'm excited to share with you today a sneak preview of the new Raven for Microsoft Office software. Raven for Office works right inside Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, allowing users to leverage the power of the Raven natural language engine to automatically analyze and generate rich visual diagrams of their business processes and use cases. Let's get started. Today I'll be using Microsoft Word 2010 to show you some of the key capabilities of Raven for Office, though these same capabilities are available in Excel and PowerPoint as well. Here you see I've opened a business requirements document and clicked on the Raven tab to see all the functions available to the user. On the left-hand side is the Process pane button, which you use to open a special area for authoring your business processes or use cases. You can also analyze text written directly in the body of the document, but oftentimes it's easier to do this directly in the Process pane. To quickly show you the power of what Raven can do inside Office, let's drop a simple narrative into the Process pane describing a high-level order management process. Once you've authored the narrative, what you need to do to analyze it is simply click the Analyze Narrative button here. And what it'll do is take the narrative, send it off to the Raven language engine, and when the analysis is complete, you'll see a little green check mark appear on top of the button. Now that the narrative has been successfully analyzed, you can easily examine the various artifacts generated by the Raven language engine. For example, you can click on the colorized text icon here and automatically highlight the actors in the process in blue, the functions they perform in green, and the different objects they pass between one another in red. Or you can click on the Analysis Results button here, and down below it'll show you more detailed information about the natural language analysis performed by Raven, including the terms in the process, the functions performed by the actors in the process, the different steps in the process or use case, the scenarios, the unique flow paths from one end of the process to the other, and a simple list of the sentences in the process. You can also click on the Errors and Warnings button here to show a list of any errors in the process narrative or any warnings. In this case, there's a couple of warnings having to do with the use of commas in the paragraphs that I've written. And you can see the most highly valued artifact of all by clicking on the Preview Diagram button here, which brings open a separate window where you can actually see the diagram automatically generated by Raven from the text you entered in the Process pane. You can fit the diagram to the window, you can rotate it to a vertical orientation or back to horizontal, or you can zoom into particular areas of interest and back out again. Now if we navigate into the document, let's go ahead and insert some of the artifacts we've generated directly into the body of the document. You do that by inserting your cursor and using the Insert button here, where you can see that there are really three types of artifacts you can insert. One, of course, is the process diagram. One is the process narrative as analyzed by Raven. And another is a series of word tables, including the terms, functions, steps, scenarios, and sentences that I showed you earlier. In this case, let's start by inserting the process narrative first. And you can see that goes in here. We'll go ahead and put the cursor a little bit lower than that and insert the simple process diagram. See how that inserts itself nicely there. And finally, we'll put the cursor at this location and insert a table of the terms that are part of this simple business process. And if I scroll down just a little bit more, you can see I have a nice word table automatically formatted that you can then augment with additional information. To highlight some additional capabilities of Raven for Office, let's return to the Process pane and add a new business process or use case to the document. I do that by clicking on the little Add New Process icon, which initializes a new pane so that you can enter new text for the business process or the use case. Now, instead of doing that from scratch, I'm going to do so with the assistance of a business glossary that I can select here from a list of glossaries that have been predefined for my use. In this case, there's a simple demo glossary that I've created. In order to show you the business glossary here, which is part of what you get when you purchase Raven from Microsoft Office, notice that you have a nice interface for defining a set of business terms and definitions that are used by Raven when it performs an analysis of your business process or use case. So returning to the document with a glossary now activated, as I start typing a sentence, for example, the customer, here's a customer term, sends the purchase order, there's purchase order, to the sales department. That's a nice simple sentence, right? So you can see if I were to do an analysis of this little narrative, what will happen is that those terms will be defined to exist in the glossary, so you're ensured of using consistent business vocabulary or terminology when you do an analysis with the Raven software. In the interest of time, I won't do any further editing of this process, but we'll clear it out, paste in some text that I've previously written, which describes our order management process in a much greater level of detail. And now what I'll do is I'll click on the Attributes tab of the process pane, which you can use to describe the business process and give it classification information or attributes for storage in the cloud. So in this case, we'll call this our order management process. Put the process description here, and give it a state, which means is it as is process or to be process. Let's call it to be, and let's put it in a category called financial processes. And having defined that information, you can do that in the process pane directly, or you can go here and define the same information by clicking on the Save Process button. So here you see that this particular process has been classified for storage in the financial processes folder, and it will be stored in the cloud under those attributes for later retrieval by the user. Click Save, and that will be stored away. So let's kind of finish the demonstration by returning to the process narrative. Go down into the document a little bit more, and let's go ahead and insert, similar to what we did before, this diagram that I created from this process narrative directly into the document. This gives you a sense of the complexity of process diagrams that you can insert and generate automatically from Raven. Before we wrap up our demonstration today, I want to quickly show you some of the exportation capabilities of Raven for Office, including the ability to export the diagram in image format, in XPDL or XMI format, which allows you to exchange the process diagrams created by Raven with third-party products like business process management systems, as well as a great capability to export the diagram in Visio format. Let me show you that now. By just simply clicking on the Visio icon here in the ribbon, I can give this file a name, Order Management Process, and click Save. Now to see the diagram that I've exported, let's switch over to Microsoft Visio, click the Open icon. There's our order management process. I can open it, I can zoom in, and now you see a high-fidelity process diagram generated automatically by Raven for Office inside Microsoft Visio. A great capability for business analysts everywhere. This concludes our demonstration of the new Raven for Microsoft Office software. If you'd like more information on Raven for Office, please feel free to email us at success@ravenflow.com. Thanks for watching.